also like worked as a faculty at various universities. You said Nalsar, also Osmania, and various others. What would you say is important to understand the crux of strategic studies, especially for law students?
I'm glad. I'm glad. That's a beautiful question, actually. That's a very sensible question. Law students are, in my opinion, all-rounders. They got to be all-rounder. Law is omnipresent. Law, you have such a specialization in law. I think no other field is as important as maybe after medicine, law. Because in order to survive in a civil society or a civilized society, we are all the time rule bound and law bound, right? Law of the land. So environmental law, food, family law, corporate law, constitutional law, medical law, media law. There are humanitarian law. Air and space law. There are so many specializations. Without having a proper background in strategy, security, defense, foreign policy, or development studies, a law students cannot comprehend, cannot interlink the law book that he or she is studying with what's happening around. You the moment you have this background of understanding India's polity, economy, security, strategy, national security goals, or national security threats, you will be actually having a wonderful symbiotic, synergetic, stuff happening between the interface of law with many of all these subjects. That gives you a 360-degree view. Then you will be empowered to argue if you want to be a litigant or a litigation, get into as a professional thing in a bar association or in a court of law, or if you want to be in a corporate firm, or as a teaching or judicial service officer, whatever you do as a law, as a media guy, you are something different. So lawyers by profession or legal student by virtue, you got to be by default an all-rounder. Little bit of medicine, little bit of strategy, little bit of polity, little bit of economy, little bit of art, little bit of management is a right ingredient for a wonderful meal. So
So
that's
a
what I feel.
follow-up question to this only, that do you
Yeah.
think that law students should also get to study international relations and foreign policy as their
Yeah.
subjects?
Yeah. International law and international relations are interlinked, right?
Yeah.
So without understanding international relations, so where can you apply international law and how can you apply international law? See, there is this, like, they go hand in hand like shadow. you know, if international law is the main person, the shadow is international relations. Without international relations, obviously, you cannot understand what's happening. The legal treaties or the extradition treaties or the give and take between two countries, everything goes by sort of, international law norms and international law, diktats. So that's a must. And one more thing, I request the law students to have one particular question they should be asking themselves about the country that they are living, the region that they are living, the religion, the caste, starting from that to the global connections. From local to global, you are able to connect yourself with what's happening in socio-economic, political sectors, legal sectors. So then only you will emerge as a all-rounded, groomed lawyer who can actually do justice to whatever the injustices that that they will come across.
Yes, sir. So if one was to peel off your legal persona back, how would you describe yourself as outside of that, outside of all the academics and everything?
Yeah. See, I don't have a law degree, right? But I taught political science and international relations to law students in Nalsar University. I resigned from Nalsar to start this think tank because I was thinking, I should have a focus and concentration on a think tank because this country needs more think tanks. So not by not really being a law student by definition doesn't mean that I don't know the law subject. So I open up myself to know more about the constitution and its various aspects of constitution, and so that I will compensate for not having a law degree. But at the same time, I request all the law students to think very, very, very uh, passionately about one thing that I'm requesting you, that uh, you guys should have you guys should have should think, given India's size and shape with the 28 29 states and union territories, and as I told you sometime back, 15,000 kilometers of land borders we share, and we have 7,516 kilometers of coastal borders we have to protect every day from foreign aggression. Okay, please kindly think, keep think tank also as a career option. This is my humble request to you. This country badly needs, there is a lot of vacuum to be filled in. Have a think tank, start as a non-political society under the Societies Registration Act, get like-minded people together, debate, discuss, disseminate proper information, and think tanks can earn not only money. Think tanks, some think tanks in the United States have, loads of money, tons of money, because they get a lot of donations and endowments. You don't need to sell yourself out, but at the same time, by being very non-partisan and being unbiased, still you can make a lot of social exclusive things possible by only, operating a think tank. So I request all the law students today to keep thinking in these lines of opening a think tank by yourselves, after your law degree as a career option. Not only, don't only get into all the traditional paths that are being laid by your seniors, like, अरे law firm में जाओ, corporate firm में पैसा बनाओ, MNC में, be a legal advisor in an MNC or a legal advisor to a government. You know, see, you should have your own independent thinking about the country. So mother and motherland are extremely important, as I told you some time back. So I request each one of you to think this as, one of the career options, to groom think tanks, to start think tanks by yourselves on various aspects, and give policy inputs. After doing policy research, give policy inputs to the government. By working in an NGO, I mean, you can make some difference to the particular territory, or let's say a town or a municipality or this thing. Suppose Swachh Bharat. If you really come out with a Swachh Bharat policy after doing policy research, by being in a think tank environment, you can touch millions of people for many more years to come. So that's such a big, magnanimous, gigantic, change that you can bring through think tank is more powerful than working in a small NGO for an internship of a local, issue. I'm not saying working in an NGO in that sense is not, great. What I'm trying to say is, it is greater. Pen is mightier than sword. That's what I want to say. So your thinking capacity, think tank, bringing people together to think on certain issues and giving policy alternatives to the government. By giving policy alternatives after doing policy research, you are actually empowering the government. In a way, you are empowering the lakhs and lakhs of people by the impact of those policies. It could be any public policy. I hope I'm making some sense here.
I myself have been inspired to open a think tank now. And apart from that, so apart from being an inspiration due to all your achievements, academics, you're also a well-balanced individual with multiple interests outside of academics. Like when I was an intern under you, you advocated for yoga and mental health. I remember the posts you sent on WhatsApp groups. So how would you suggest students and aspiring lawyers to manage their time while also balancing all other aspects of life?
See, first of all, you got to be internally happy to spread happiness, right? So my happiness lies in keeping myself fit, physically and mentally, emotionally, and of course, financially, and also romantically. Romantically doesn't mean only the love between a boy and a girl. Romance means you have to fall in love with the nature, fall in love with the good things in life, like good food, good lifestyle, and also helping others. I mean, I get so romantically involved by helping others. If I can see a smile in somebody's face because of my small act of helping them at that particular juncture, be it when they're in hospital or when they need something, or when it gives immense shining to your skin rather than the glamorous makeup that we do. So what I'm trying to say is, you got to be real. What is real inside will automatically reflect outside also. So I love going to gym, keeping myself fit. Right now I'm working on my six pack. And age is just a number. It doesn't matter. I am 40 and you are 20. Looking good and being good, and that kind of stuff. I love myself. So if I love myself, automatically, then what happens? I invest in myself. The moment I invest in myself, what will happen? Good thoughts will come. The moment I have good thoughts, what will come? I feel like sharing my good thoughts. Where do I share? I share a think tank like this. So it is infectious. It can come. Today you can catch hold of this infection, and you also will be for good, for noble things. You can also get inspired. So I think it all depends upon happiness quotient. By not harming anybody, by not getting into someone's personal space, to what extent you can influence others by being happy and healthy. And I know I draw my strength from my mother and motherland. That's all. I'm only responsible to two things: the physical birth, the biological birth given by my mother, my mother's womb, my mother, and my motherland. That is where I am born. That is India. If I have these two as my balancing forces, my right eye and my left eye, I will never lose balance. Mother and motherland. I mean, I can sum it up my whole success story or unsuccessful story, or failure, whatever you name, or success. I oscillate between these two factors. Mother, I'm responsible to only to my mother and my motherland. That's all. And whether my boss appreciates or not, or whether my colleagues like me or not, it all secondary to me. If my mother is happy about what I am doing, and if she is proud of what I am doing, if my motherland is proud of what I can do and what I have been doing, I mean, that's like moon and sun, a moon and a sun, like mother and motherland. And if you can, place yourself in these two between, you will never have a dull day in your life. Trust me, you will never have a dull day in your life. So that's what I feel.
Yes, sir. So it was great talking to you. If you have anything to say to the viewers or to any law student out there or whosoever is watching this video, you can go ahead.
Yeah, see, the only request, I can only request one thing. Each moment is giving us a challenge. Believe me, whether we get success or not, but we'll 100% get challenges every moment of our life. So always believe in one thing: the forces that are for you are greater than the forces that are against you. Because if your intentions are pure, the whole universe will conspire to make it happen. So your intentions purity, your intentions nobility is the most important thing. If you have very good intention, trust me, if not today, tomorrow we are going to be there. So always watch only one thing: how are our intentions? So keeping our intentions pure between mother and motherland, between for a greater cause, of a human security cause, believe me, all Panchabhutas will come to your rescue. And don't ever ask this question: what's in it for me? Generally generally the mistake that we do is, and also people expect is, अरे क्या मिल रहा है तेरे को उससे वो काम करने से? थिंक टैंक खोल रहे, क्या मिलेगा तेरे को? उधर देखो, मेरा जो साथी है वो कॉर्पोरेट में 2 लाख कमा रहे, 3 लाख कमा रहे, 4 लाख कमा रहे, स्टार होटल में ब्रेकफास्ट कर रहे, किसी अच्छी गाड़ी में किसी सुंदर लड़की के साथ आउटिंग जा रहे. I'm just talking about boys talk, okay? Or maybe girls talk. Never ask immediate gratification. Immediate gratification. What's in it for me? That is the stupidest thing. If you train your brain. Arey bhai, if you wanted to have a line in the history book, you need sacrifice, commitment. You need that conscious effort to make things happen. You are not living for only that moment. Okay, so take life very seriously. At the same time, take life very seriously and also very happily approach. Even though things may not be happy all the time, but you tell yourself that you are stronger than the challenges that are going to thrown upon you. So always thank your challenges, because they are the real ones to tell your character who you are. Okay, not all the comfort zones that you and me are living in. Thank you, and this is what I want to say. Jai Hind. And whatever, every word that I spoke, trust me, every word I spoke straight from my heart and soul and my character. And I haven't preached anything. I have been experiencing it, so I have shared with you.
It was wonderful to
And
talk
Jai
to
Hind.
you. Yeah, thank you so much for
Thank you,
taking out your
Sejal.
time to talk to us.
Thank you, Sejal, and may God bless you, and keep up the spirit. As I told you, many challenges, but believe me, we have solutions, because the whole world is with us, the whole universe. Okay, so never ever ask what's it for me immediately. Long term, sustained. A seed will take a time, to come out of, to break the mother earth and come out and give fruits. So you should have patience. I think the most important virtue or strength we all should have is, last but not least, patience. It's not your money, it's not your degree, it's not your powerful family that you come from, or the small family that you come from. It's patience. Patience. If you have the patience, you can win over yourself and the world. Love you all. Thank you very much. And
Thank
I
you. It was an
request all,
honor.
each one of you, if you think that CHSS is doing a good job, please support. And I request all of you to teach in a program, Sejal. I will send you right now. We are starting empowerment program for 1400 students belonging to Andhra Pradesh Road Transport Corporation, APSRTC. So the public transportation work, intermediate and degree, they will be beneficiaries of this program for 1 month. Every day, 2 hours of teaching on emerging technologies, law, constitution, society, polity, foreign policy, communicative English, life skills, motivation. If you have interest, please join us as a tutor. You can become a tutor. We'll give you a certificate of participation. You can teach that 1 hour. I will introduce my research associate, Ms. Sindhu, to you, Sejal. So she can help you with, if you wanted to teach while you are learning to these underprivileged boys and girls of intermediate, +2, and then UG PG level. You can really make a difference, in their life. So if you wanted to be part of it, from September 1st onwards, only every day 2 hours we are teaching. Your organization, you can nominate certain people, and we'll give a certificate of participation. And Australian High Commissioner is also coming, the Sejal, on 3rd September to our think tank, Center for Human Security Studies, to interact with our CHSS staff and researchers. So you can virtually also get connected with that program. The remaining details I will tell you through Sindhu, our research associate and team. So Sejal, I wish you all the best for your program, whatever you are doing. May God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was an honor to talk to you. Thank you.